Yes, you did, in fact, hear me right when I stated that President Trump at this point is seeking a bigger stimulus package, like bigger in terms of the dollar amount being spent. He wants more than the $1.8 trillion that Republicans are, you know, trying to get a deal for. Um, President Trump thinks that we need to significantly boost the spending in our next fiscal stimulus package. But what we have heard from Mitch McConnell is a no. This is a no go. This is not going to happen. Now, some people might say, well, Mitch McConnell, he's a fiscal conservative, and because of that, he is outright opposing it. While it is in fact true that Mitch McConnell is very, very much a fiscal conservative, that is not the basis on which he is rejecting the president's call for more stimulus, a bigger stimulus package. It all boils down to something that I've mentioned before, and that is the fact that Mitch McConnell cannot sell a bigger stimulus package to Senate Republicans. I mentioned before how what we are seeing in terms of the president and some of these Republicans, what we're seeing is infighting at its best. I think that it's leveled out a little bit. Not to say that that the president and Senate Republicans are in agreement on things. I think that they are just doing a better job to make it less apparent. In terms of what's going on. They're trying to appear to be a party of unity when at this point, quite frankly, they are anything but unified. Because, as much as some people don't want to hear this, and again, I say this as not just the host of this podcast, but president and CEO of our organization, a political organization that is not affiliated with Democrats or Republicans, which affords us the luxury of being able to openly say who was wrong, who was right, and sometimes it's Republicans, sometimes it's Democrats. But specifically, when you look at Donald Trump as a Republican, and I'm using that in air quotes, he's, in my opinion, a rhino, Republican in name only. But when you look at President Trump, he really has been the only Republican who has really done anything in terms of stimulus for the American people, with the exception of what we saw in the very beginning with the CARES Act, when we pretty much had bipartisan support for the legislation at that time. Since then, we have not seen really any Republican other than the president not just claim that they want to do something, but actually do something. Whether or not you like the president or don't like him, whether or not you think what he did was, legal or whatever the case might be, we have seen actual action from the president while we've been looking at inaction from Congress. Has he taken enough? No, but he has done some things that we have not seen from Senate Republicans, namely and specifically those Senate Republicans who are not up for re-election in this current cycle. From those specific Republicans, what we are hearing is, over my dead body, you are not getting one red nickel, dime, cent, penny. No, 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 unless you are a business or you're the stock market. We are willing to buy your junk bonds. We are willing to do everything you need us to do. But when it comes to the American people, no, none for you, no support for you, no help for you. But again, that is not the message that we've been getting from the president. That is not the action we have been seeing from the president. But going back to Mitch McConnell and taking this back to him and why he is appearing to reject the call for a bigger stimulus package. He knows that he cannot sell this to Senate Republicans. Now, I'm not going to say he can't sell it to all, because he can sell it to a small fraction of Senate Republicans, and those are those Republicans who are up for re-election in the current cycle. those are the ones who recognize that if I do not do anything, that my constituents are going to be severely hurt. They are going to be severely impacted, negatively impacted by their own personal economies as a result of what's going on in the larger economy. And I cannot go back to my home, to my base, having done nothing for my people. Those are the Republicans who actually say that they want to take action. But even then, they are kind of at a crossroads when it comes to that desire to take action, given their the political influence that it would have. But then again, there's also the fact that, again, what do Republicans run on? Most Republicans, they run on being fiscal conservatives. So even that drive to save their political career is hampered by the fact that they have this appearance, or they claim to be fiscal conservatives. But so that is why we are seeing what we are seeing from Mitch McConnell. It is not, in fact, because he himself really opposes it, because we've heard, I say that you look at what a person does and not just what they say, but we really haven't seen much done from Mitch McConnell, right? But if we only have what he says, which I'm not going to place too much weight on, because again, you look at what people do and not what they say. If we look at what he says that he's willing to go along with whatever the president wants, essentially. If the president agrees to it, like, I'm down, I'll go for it. But again, can't really place too much weight on that, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But he knows that he cannot sell this to his members. He cannot sell it in the Senate. And because of that, because he realizes we are, selling them on 1.8 trillion, was already just like I'm at my pressure point. I don't know if I can, this was already a tough sell. And even still, quite frankly, it's even at this $1.8 trillion, guys, I really don't believe that that this could pass the Senate. I really don't. Some people say that there's enough support to very barely squeak this by in the Senate. I don't believe the support is there. I don't. You have too many Republicans who have openly expressed an unwillingness to help the American people, to help the American economy. And it's sad, but in the words of the president, it is what it is. And so that said, this is why we are seeing what we are seeing from Mitch McConnell. So take this into consideration, as, again, some people might try and frame it as, oh, Mitch McConnell is this, horrible man. In a lot of ways, he is, in my opinion. In a lot of ways, the man, he should not be an elected official. But in the words of the president, it is what it is. And he is who and what we have to contend with in this moment. And in this moment, he does, in fact, recognize that he does not have the support within his party, within his chamber, to make this happen.